He hasn't scored in his last 2 games until today. A couple of points from the free throw line get him on the score sheet. And he does not add to it. Misses back iron on the second. 94-56 with just over 2 minutes to go. Harris Smith. Willard directing. Smith goes right, pass over to Gapare. He's looking for Stevens in the corner, can't find him. Gapare pivots on the perimeter, back over to Harris Smith. A double team again, we've seen that work, and another interception by Alcorn State, not before a Ben Murphy steal. Ben Murphy, a wild pass, baseline. Murphy a little too much heat on the pass to Malachi Palmer. He had an open sequence after the strip steal right behind from Foman. Another wild sequence here defensively for both teams. And Alcorn State has it now. Davion Williams on the left side perimeter. Daji Benet, pass over to Herod. Herod goes off a screen, goes right. Straightaway triple from Luau, air ball. Nothing but air for Julian Luau. And the crowd is loving it. Air ball chants flying. No points for Alcorn State in the last 3 minutes. And more cheers as the Terps' second walk-on checks in, and Lucas Sotel, the sophomore from Stamford, Connecticut. He's played just 7 total minutes this year. He's yet to score this season, looking for his first points in the final minutes here today. Malachi Palmer over to Lucas Sotel, drops it before picking it back up. Nice inside pass to Malachi Palmer. Stevens, a triple, no good. Sotel flies in, cannot secure the rebound. Daji Benet flies the other way. 94-56, just over a minute to go. Pass over to Davion Williams. Williams, Ben Murphy on him. Dribbles left, right near the Maryland logo. Benet trying to seal, and a foul off the ball on Malachi Palmer. So we're headed back to the free throw line. That's bonus territory. Cameron Foman back of the line. He went 1 for 2 on his last attempt, trying to make it 2 straight here.
Cameron Foreman shooting 1-1.
Cameron Foreman. His first shot is pure. Straight through for Alcorn State's 57th point of the day. And here comes the second. Maryland crowd on its feet as we head in the final stretch, and it goes through. Both teams in the bonus, just a minute left. One more possession for Maryland. And you want to think they want Sotel to get a bucket here. Malachi Palmer sizes through the lane, goes right, and a picture-perfect finish off the glass. A nice, easy layup on the left-hand side. 52 seconds and counting, shot clock at 20 for Alcorn State. Davion Williams. The lights are closing on this one. Davion Williams trying to get one final score in for his team. Pass over, shovels to Julian Lewell. He'll try a triple, no good, rims out off the front rim. It's going to be deflected off of Gapare. It'll stay right here with the Braves. 38 seconds to go in this one. Terps up 38. Ben Murphy trying to deflect on the inbound pass. Luo with it, top of the key. Palmer on him, finds space to work, stripped away, pickpocketed by Palmer. Ben Murphy comes up with it. Shot clock is still in place, so we'll see if Maryland takes their final possession for a shot or if they hold out. Less than a 1 second differential between shot clock and game clock, as it looks as if the Terps are just going to dribble this one out. 15 seconds, shot clock is matching a 96-58 victory for Maryland. As the clock nearly goes dark, 5 seconds and change to go. And Maryland's 4th straight victory here today. They extend the non-conference winning streak to 21 at home. They haven't lost to a non-conference opponent since 2021 at the Xfinity Center. Maryland 96, Alcorn State 58. The Braves fall to 0-9. The Terps rise to 7-1. And a lot of veteran experience. It's his 6th season of collegiate wrestling. He's got a 71-37 career record. That's almost as good as Ethan Miller. As Miller goes down to his knees early. Grabbing both the legs of Kreiser, takes him in the air and throws him to the ground. A 3-point takedown for Ethan Miller. Miller time in full effect here in College Park.
That's what Maryland needed to get on the board first, and they do it through their number 6 ranked 57, and it's Ethan Miller.
And that riding time just at about 11 seconds now. Wrestlers take the center.
Okay, hold on. Okay, green set. Don't
So a
move,
change.
red,
Maryland gets on the score sheet first before Illinois.
Ben, we're not even halfway through here between Maryland and Illinois. So for Maryland in front of its home crowd for the second time in a week, it's a big spot for Maryland to get something as well right before intermission.
Kreiser gets on the board with an escape point, his first point of the day. Kreiser, he's won 3 of his last 4 matches, putting Ethan Miller's 15-0 season record on the line. A perfect undefeated season for Ethan Miller, the only wrestler in Maryland's key rotation still undefeated.
Big season so far for Ethan Miller. He's got his sights set on some work for the Big Ten Championships, and then maybe even in Philadelphia for the NCAA Championships, looking to qualify there again.
And another wrestler is Miller, alongside his brother from Maryland, who bumped up weight classes. He swapped 149 for 157 and bumped up 8 pounds. The same wrestler we're seeing on the mat today. Ethan Miller, so dominant through his 3 years at Maryland.
And the progress that Clemson said that Miller made to go up to 57 was remarkable, saying that Miller put on 13.5 pounds of net muscle, a transformation that Clemson had never seen before. There was conversations of him putting on too much muscle, and it leads to takedowns like that.
And you see the muscle in full effect. 3 points, the swipes are coming as Kreiser backpedals, trying to regain some of that balance. At 3 points, it's a 6-1 lead for Ethan Miller. 2 more on the board as points flying everywhere. 8-2 is your new total. So 2 points added for Ethan Miller from the reversal. Another point added from the escape by Jason Kreiser. As we end the first period here, 8-2. And Ethan Miller doing what Ethan Miller does, taking up Jason Kreiser and slamming him down on the mat for the takedown. The
Boom,
number 6 ranked wrestler.
Yeah, that's a big way to get your first 3 points of a bout and put Maryland on the board early. And you mentioned that 6 points that we just saw coming from Miller and Kreiser. Second takedown that comes for Ethan Miller.
And Miller, the aggressor, here to start the second period. Kreiser backpedaling to add an escape point to his total. But Ethan Miller really saying, why not let it fly to start this second period? A 5-point advantage going his way here early. Stalled at center mat is both the wrestlers here. Another ranked matchup. Part of many we'll have here today. Still 5 more to go. 6 if you include this one. But Illinois, a 15-0 team lead convincingly. 3 major decisions along with a pin by Cannon Webster.
Yeah, Webster with the pin just in that last weight class at 49.
And now Kreiser getting some things going, but 3 more points for Ethan Miller brings his total to double digits. 11 points for Ethan Miller. That riding time almost at a minute now in dominant fashion.
Red, you're in control. Red, you're in control. 1.
Kreiser escapes the hold of Miller for another escape point. He's lived off those here in the second period. So 3 for his total. 11-4, a 7-point advantage for Ethan Miller. Plus the riding time brings this into major decision territory. That'd be 4 points for Maryland, their first points of the day. If this stood, it would be a big one for the Terps, still scoreless overall. Jason Kreiser, a win-filled resume to go along with his time. His third school, 2-time transfer as the second period comes to a close. 11-4, he stacked a couple escape points on there.
These are some of the loudest takedowns we've seen so far through 5 matches, 2 coming from Ethan Miller. That's why he's got the 11-4 lead right now over Jason Kreiser.
A lot of crowd pops from the Terp faithful when Ethan Miller brings the hammer to the ground. Kreiser goes for the legs. So does Miller, and he has that 2-leg hold we've seen so much today. Steps to his feet. He has Kreiser on a swivel and slams it back down. Kreiser pivots around, taking command now. The challenge flag seemingly thrown down by Mike Poeta on the sidelines. He's animated as The officials take pause, and we'll find out what happened on that one.
Go to your corner.
Another top 10 season for number 5 Maryland field hockey has seen the Terps climb the ladder within the Big Ten standings. With postseason play around the corner, Coach Missy Moharg and company have national championship aspirations once again. But before the team steps onto the hardwood in early November, I had to ask some hard-hitting questions at Team Media Day.
Most used emojis, the laughing emoji.
The
Top three's
laughing
gotta be
emoji.
laughing emoji.
That's number one for
Laugh.
Here with Maryland men's basketball guard Jay Young, going to be playing a game of horse right here on the Xfinity Center court. Jay, how confident are you going in?
Very confident.
Ben? Yeah, Benji, the Terps are certainly catching up to others around the Big Ten landscape, due in part to head coach Alex Clemson. A lot of pedigree, and you have the history there with North Carolina.
Yep.
From one diving play to another, let's go to Caitlin Cornwell laying out like Dennis Rodman for a rebound. A full diving catch for Caitlin Cornwell. And just to add on to that as well, I think in the women's game at all, you're seeing just more of an audience because of the storyline surrounding it. Players are sticking around for 3-4 years versus the men's game. A lot of transfer moves.
Cash.
There you go. I know you played at UCF with assistant coach Kevin Norris.
Yeah.
He's back now on the coaching staff. How big of an impact did his arrival come?
I should have went with the spirit.
Good game, though.
Good game.
Good game.
Appreciate you.
Max Rogers has served as an immediate impact transfer for Maryland men's soccer, but playing Big Ten sports, let alone as a collegiate athlete in America, was never in the cards.
It's an interesting sort of journey because honestly, I had no idea about the US college system really up until halfway through senior year of high school. I had no clue.
Rogers grew up a two-sport athlete, balancing cricket and soccer before eventually having to concentrate on one sport, making a decision that would change the course of his life.
It just happened to be that, you know, soccer and cricket were the ones that sort of I gravitated towards. I guess I always knew that I loved football. You know, I liked cricket, but there's something, I loved football or soccer. But again, it just seemed to sort of choose me.
Rogers grew up in England before moving to Australia at a young age. A journey spanning 3 continents and tens of thousands of miles, Rogers' path to high-level D1 soccer may be seen as unorthodox, but the Terps graduate transfer believes everything happens for a reason.
Yeah, I guess you could say I've turned into a bit of a journeyman. But I think, you know, each of these stops have been, while they appear random in certain ways, they have been quite intentional. Fordham was a great landing spot for me because it was a great entryway into the sort of college athletic scene. And then I think Yale was also a very intentional decision. Obviously, super strong academic school, but I knew that the program had a reputation of breeding successful players. We were lucky enough to win at Fordham. I won the A10 at Fordham and then won the Ivy League at Yale in my last year. And then I guess with this last move, you're putting all your chips on the table and you're saying, let me prove it here. Tying back to that sort of need to prove to myself and prove to others. It's that sort of, can you prove to everyone that you can get it done in the Big Ten, which is arguably the biggest and the brightest lights in college soccer.
Max has been a tremendous asset to the team. When we had the opportunity to bring him in as a transfer, we were extremely excited about all of his qualities. Number one, his personality and mentality is top notch. He's a very mature, competitive guy, and he just brings a lot of energy on the field. He's constantly encouraging, commanding, demanding from his teammates.
Those bright lights at Ludwig, you hear people talk about him, and you hear Coach bark on about it, and all the guys were talking about it in preseason, and you're kind of like, oh, come on, guys, like it's just another field. But really, once you're out there and you're playing for Maryland on Ludwig Field, it's special.
From London to Sydney to America and everywhere in between, Max Rogers' success is rooted in his upbringing, a big reason he's now thriving on the pitch. For Terrapin Sports Central, I'm Ben Geffner.